What's going on, everybody? This is Bishop Brad coming to you on another episode of Sales Tips and Motivation. I want to hit on a particular subject that a lot of salespeople do. If we can break down this frame of mind that you may have and start growing a leader, then actually we are on to something pretty darn big. Excuses. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Results are the same. You know, a lot of y'all try to make excuses of why you thought this person was not going to buy. That's terrible. Some of y'all like to make excuses of why your relationship is failing. Some people like to make excuses on just about anything and everything of why something's not going their way. But there's actually one common denominator. You! The day that you stop making excuses to your manager, making excuses to your director, making excuses to anybody in general, including your wife or your husband, will be the day that you actually move forward in whatever you're trying to be good in. You know, one of the things I hate the most is when you ask somebody how they do it or how they did it or what happened or whatever it may be, to actually just find a way or a crack where you can just go right through it and help a person become more successful and save them from themselves. And then all of a sudden what pours out of your mouth is excuse, excuse, excuse. But all there ever is coming from a particular individual is just an excuse with no at all even way of trying to fix it so they don't have to make excuses their whole life. To my fellow salespeople, to my fellow marketers, one of the biggest important things to becoming a very successful salesperson, marketer, husband, wife, whatever it may be, is to quit making excuses for the reasons things are the way they are. Excuses, I believe, are part of a growth pattern when you first start. But excuses should make you feel terrible on the inside. You know, a good way to represent yourself to your manager or your boss is to say, look, this is what happened. This is what I did. Am I right? Am I wrong? Help me, fix me. There's nothing worse than getting an excuse from someone who don't want to be fixed, who don't want to be helped. Most importantly, who is not coachable. You have to be coachable. I've been in the sales industry 20 years plus, and I don't know everything. But you know what? There's a lot of mental and spiritual things that I have gone through where I got home and looked in the mirror and said, I don't know why I told my boss that. I don't know why I told this person that. Why did I say that? And you know what? I can personally deliver a video to you helping you realize that your whole life will be an excuse if you don't hit things head on and learn to make sure that that never happens again or put yourself in a situation to make you look weak. Excuses are excuses. Results are the same. You can make excuses of why you failed. You can make excuses of why they didn't buy. You can make excuses on why you do what you do and are not coachable to what's being told to you. Excuses are it's a characteristic of weakness. Weakness is what determines the bad people from the successful people. We've all had excuses. As a matter of fact, at some point in your life, you got to stop. You have to stop giving excuses. So I want to make this in reference to any of you that are going through whatever in your career, your opportunity, your job, and all you do is make excuses. Look, if I was to tell my boss, hold on, let me rephrase the word boss. Let's change it with leader. If I was to tell my leader that the reason that those people didn't buy is because they already have something. You weak ass! God dang. Hey, this is going to lead into another video covering objections. Because if you make excuses, you are very weak in your delivery in covering objections. Not a lot of people like to be called weak. If you don't like to be called weak, it's because your self-esteem is very low and you don't have any power in wanting to get better. But excuses are for weak people. And you know what? You have to live and learn. Live, learn. Make the problem. Don't do the problem again. Fix it. You know, if anything out of this video at all radiates through your veins like power running through your bloodstream, today, do not make any excuses. Learn from them and get better. There's nothing worse than a salesman full of excuses who has no intention of getting better at all. It makes you more of a stronger person. It makes you better personally. And it doesn't make you look very incompetent and weak. Because if you have been through a lot of sales jobs, you have a problem. And you know what? I'm sure you got an excuse for every single one of them. This is Bishop Brad, baby, coming to you, drilling in your minds that excuses are what will always be your world if you don't change and get better. This is Bishop Brad trying to make y'all badass. I love every single one of you. Remember, don't make an excuse today. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.